Alrighty, bitey. So today I was kind of thinking about whether, making kind of like a different format to or for replying to comments. And I think this might be smart because a lot of the content or like a lot of things that I talk about, they kind of, I feel like they kind of deserve a face-to-face interaction. It's not possible, but you get the idea. And because I've been getting like actually some really thoughtful comments for the video about why billionaires tend to speak or accomplished people tend to speak in frameworks and ideologies for the Dark Enlightenment one, and then also for the last one that I posted, which was How to Scale Startups by Peter Thiel. And I thought that like I'm trying to answer most of the comments. There are also a lot of comments which are just nice, so appreciate that as well. But I feel like if I have the time, which I do, I might as well, reply to the actual comments. And I do want to start with one, with the newest one. By the way, this is not a working microphone, but I just like it. Which was posted under the Peter Thiel video. And the thing is, I'm not quite sure whether I should be saying the username out loud, because the thing is, if they commented, they kind of already agreed to be public, and it's not like I know them personally, so I'm not leaking data information. Um, but I'll just read the question. So essentially, what they're asking, it's like quite long, but what they're asking is, um, doesn't like the 0 to 1 all depend on definition? Because I've been talking about how Google and Tesla have been, you know, like they made revolutions in their field. And they are right to ask whether the zero, take Google for instance, before Google, there was surely another company that enabled searching, as a search engine. And in terms of Tesla, the Japanese car makers, they actually had even, so they not only had electric vehicles, but they also had kind of hydrogen vehicles, right? So the technology was there, but why do we say, like, why am I making the claim that in the video that both Tesla and Google, they're fundamentally different from kind of the technologies that we've seen? And they're making the point that even for Facebook, they were not the first social media. So you have MySpace in that case. And they're arguing that, talking about revolutions, is it only then a revolution when it reaches the masses in terms of how many people can actually use the technology? And they're asking whether that is the distinction. So the thing is, valid question. Actually, like I've never thought about it somehow. While reading the book, I always had the kind of like the thought that even though the technology was there, these companies they came up with something new. So MySpace, for instance, I think it was mostly text-based. So you weren't really like sharing pictures or memes or anything. That came after the introduction of Facebook because Facebook was mainly picture-based. So you were able, to connect with people on a visual level. And so I think that's what made Facebook kind of special in a sense. Like obviously they used the technology that was already there. They just tweaked a bit to make it really appealing to the masses. So I think it's actually true. Like every technology that you produce, it needs to reach the masses in the end. Because even though the Japanese, for instance, they had the electrical vehicles, same goes for the Germans, they had the technology, but it was Tesla who made these technologies kind of like way different. Like we perceived them as way different, mainly because they were accessible, right? The price was like it gets lower by year. Even though Tesla started with the Roadster model, so the most expensive one, they were still able to get down to like 30,000 bucks for essentially an SUV, which you won't get in the German market, for instance. For the Japanese, yeah, sure, but it's still new. So I think. Oh, I can't find a comment. Okay, I found it. So I think they made a right point. I'll tag them in the video, see what they think. But overall, I actually think that what they're writing is that the 0 to 1, the technologies that we perceive as really, really useful, as really, weird and kind of delightful in a way, they've reached the masses because maybe of a persona cult in terms of Elon Musk, because of aggressive pushing towards users, or they were just in the right environment, right? Like Facebook, it was known to have started at Harvard. So, it was free data for Zuckerberg essentially and free users to try out the app. So it's a combination of both. Um, but if you have the time, feel free to actually read the book by Peter Thiel because the thing is, even though I'm mentioning the books, I know the central ideas, but it's been quite a time since, I've read them. And so I might mix up some ideas or leave out actually important details. But it's always good that people question the things that I'm saying. So for you, I think the name was Robert. Oh, it was Robin. I'm assuming the name is Robin. I hope this video kind of helped in any way, in terms of your question. Yeah, but feel free to, I don't know, comment what you think under the video. Yeah, but I did like your question.